G'day guys, welcome to another review, and this one is really unique. Unique because this van, the Retreat, and this is the Bunk Retreat, is a brand new SKU, I guess, in the lineup for Jawa for 2024. Now, it's nearly the end of 2024, but realistically, this van has really only rolled in the last sort of 10 months or so, and it's been through the prototyping phase to where we are now, into the main production. So let us run around this particular van. There's two things I'm going to say right up front. First of all, I think we've found the absolutely perfect space in terms of the people who might really benefit from this van. But you're going to have to watch till the end because I'll tell you at the end. Number two, this van is 25/25 in terms of tear. So there's been a lot of people asking us online, what do you guys think about the payload? And I'm going to talk about that throughout the video today, but flat out, we've managed to fit everything in here for nearly a month of travel and testing for this particular van, and we've stayed under all of our legal weights. So, in traditional Ant style, I'm going to do the outside, Mavo's going to do the inside, we're going to start at the back. So, you will see here something that we're not used to on the back of the vans that we've been testing. First of all, we've got a couple of windows at the back, and that's simply because we've got the bunk sitting on the inside of the van, which you'll see in a second. But what I do want to point out, again, as standard in all of these 2024s, are these awesome blacked out windows. You'll see them all around the van, but it's great privacy. No one can actually see through there during the day. You can see through them at night time. You can't see out of them that well when you've got the lights on, so don't run around in the nude at night time. But these are just awesome, and particularly today we're on the Murray River. Pretty cracking camp spot, and it's really, really hot. So the black windows actually, it's cooler in the van than it is under the awning at the moment. So let's get into the walk around. First of all, we've got our big all the way through tunnel boot on the back of this particular van. So as you can see, plenty of room for the anti-flap kits, plenty of room for the awning winder, plenty of room for some fishing rods and that sort of thing in there, oars for your kayak or for your stand-up paddle boards. We've even got our broom in there as well. There is heaps of space in there. Now, obviously you're not going to want to load this up with way too much heavy stuff, given the weight distribution of the van, but plenty of room for long and relatively light stuff. Two big spares, as we're seeing standard on all of the 2024 models. Particularly when you're off-grid like us, a couple of spares is pretty handy. Come around to this side of the van. I actually don't know what is in here, but we'll have a quick look. Oh, there we go. Wow!
Oh my God, there's actually another tunnel boot.
There's another tunnel boot that we haven't even looked at. And that's what I mean about the payload on this particular van, guys. 25/25. We're at a point now, because we've done a couple of laps, where we just don't take stuff we don't need. Hadn't even thought about it, but there is heaps of room in there.
You know what? Our Yeti chairs would fit in there.
Our Yeti, 100%.
Oh, look at that. what?
That's where our Yeti chairs are going to go. Toilet, you don't want to see a toilet, but that's where your toilet space is. As standard as well on all of the Jawas, guys, you've got these kick-ass shower tents. Great if you've got the grandkids, or great if you've got a couple of kids traveling with this particular van as well. Outdoor shower is sitting here. What did I forget?
Water fill point. Freshwater point.
I don't know, maybe I should do the outside.
Yeah, she's trying to take over. So we've got independently filled and independently pumped freshwater tanks. What I mean by independently pumped, they've got a pump per tank. So tank here, and they're running on independent pumps. The reason I love independent pumps is if something, and I haven't seen many of these go wrong, but if something does go wrong with one of them, you've got another pump so you can keep your shower running and all of those sorts of things. You've also got a capped grey water tank there. Thing I love about the capped grey water tank is that you can actually get a hose in there, because grey water can get stinky some of the time. So it's much easier to get it in there and flush this out. I talked about the kick-ass shower tent, didn't I?
You did.
All right, so we've got a Truma AquaGo instantaneous hot water system here. Now, the thing about this is, one, you're going to get hot water as soon as you turn that unit on and jump in the shower. So when you're traveling to camp on a day where you haven't had your hot water system on and that sort of thing, you're not waiting half an hour, 40 minutes for the water to heat up. The other thing I was saying to Movo before, after having traveled a lot with vans with this hot water system for the last 12 months, I think we're using significantly less gas than what we were using with the Truma storage hot water system, because obviously it's going to be heating up the water when the van is parked up and working off grid. And this is only going to heat exactly what you need. I think we're probably averaging about 8 to 10 weeks on a 9 kilo gas cylinder now, as opposed to 6 to 8 weeks, which was what we were doing with the previous one. Here's our mains water in and our mains power in to the van. 15 amp plug as standard with all Caravans. First tunnel boot doesn't run all the way through here, but plenty of room in here for my Ziggy Nomad. So at the moment we're just traveling with the Ziggy Nomad in there. I've got my baking dish on top, I've got my gas lead and all of that sort of thing in there. Plenty of room for other stuff to go around there. I'd keep it nice and soft stuff so you're not gouging the side out of your barbecue, but plenty of room in that tunnel boot. Now, as we have standard on all of these vans, got a big generator slide here. I'm not going to pull it out just in case all of this stuff falls off. We're not traveling with the generator, but we've got our flat cast iron plate there that goes on top of the burners. We've got our floor mat, we've got our sullage hose and our mains water hose if we want to connect that. We've got a block and shock kit, and we've also got a portable table in here. So heaps and heaps of room there. Certainly a lot more room than just for a generator. Now, really quickly, maybe before we go around the front,
Sure.
check these out. I was mentioning them before, but these beautiful big blacked out windows are just, there it is, epic for getting a huge amount of airflow. Again, it's about 38 degrees today. Hasn't peaked out. It's starting to go down because it's getting a bit later in the afternoon, but heaps and heaps of airflow. I notice you haven't got the fly screen there.
No.
That's going to be great for the wasps that are getting around. Somebody will be screaming about wasps in a second, but we love these big windows. They're just great with the airflow. The other thing that you'll notice, which I probably should have mentioned earlier, solid roof and solid back. So we haven't got a pop top on this particular van, sort of like the Commander vibes that we had when we were going through the Gibb River Road, but different because we've got a different layout on the inside, and definitely those bunks are going to be a point of difference as well. Let's get a look at the front. So really quickly, maybe we'll come here. As you have standard on all of these vans, but I'll run through it, a DO35 hitch. We've also got an Arc Extreme 750 off-road or full off-road jockey wheel. These things always work perfectly for us. We've never had a problem with one of these. I reckon this is our 16th van now, and I'm always impressed with these. Now, we've got a gas bayonet point here for your outdoor barbecue, which we probably won't use tonight because we're having chicken snitties and salad for dinner. So I'll just use a flat plate I showed you in there, but we will be using the barbecue probably tomorrow night. We've also got a really well one guarded and two positioned drawbar tap. I always use that drawbar tap after we've set up. I've usually got a little bit of grease on my hands from parts of the van and that sort of thing. Don't want to go inside and don't want to dirty up our washing up sinks and things like that. So beautifully positioned tap. I know it's only a tap, but I always get excited about that drawbar tap. Now let's look at these big toolboxes. First of all, really quickly, we are in Victoria at the moment, just in Victoria, just over the border from, actually, New South Wales is that sandbank over there. That's kind of cool. But anyway, we're not carrying much because we don't need extra fuel. We don't need extra water because services are really close. You drive 30 Ks here, you're going to find what you need. Now, a couple of people have asked us about these jerry can holders as well. That's going to put a fair bit of weight on your drawbar if you've got two 20s in here, plus all the other stuff that you can fit here. So maybe, just maybe, if you're not going to be doing extreme off-grid for extended periods of time, just grab a Phillips head and pull those out. Pull these jerry can holders out and just use it as a storage bay as well. You don't need to use those, but the guys at Jawa add them in there as standard. It is a 3-minute job to remove them, as long as you've got the right tools, which in this case is a Phillips head. I'd probably use a drill, but anyway. Let's have a look at the middle one. So we've got a vented twin 9-kilo gas bottle holder there. Again, just to reduce some weight because we don't need to carry that much stuff. We're only using the 1 9-kilo. That was full when we were coming here. We're only going to be on the road 3 or 4 weeks, so we really don't need more than that 1 gas bottle. I've also got my trusty spun steel camp oven sitting in there as well. And the next one, fairly similar, guys, but it doesn't have the jerry can holders in here. But what you will find in this particular tunnel boot is you've got your diesel tank for your Eberspatcher diesel heater, which you'll see on the inside. Definitely not going to need that one today. Another beautiful big window up here. Now, you'll only notice this on the models in the Jawa range that have the beds at the front of the van. So things like your Commander, your Retreat, your Sirocco Grande and those sorts of things. I love this big window, particularly when we sleep with our heads up this end, as most people probably would with this model. It's just a beautiful big window, and we've got a big roof hatch up there as well. Even though there's 600 watts of glass panels up there, still room for that beautiful hatch and the outdoor unit for the DRS dust reduction. Also, just a little bit of innovation here. We've got a little light chucked in on these 2024 models, and they're really just for at night time if you're needing to get into these tunnel boots or these toolboxes, that you've got some light at the front of the van. All right, now let's have a look at this fridge. There's something that I'm going to talk about here that I haven't talked about on any of the other videos that we've done. So I'm going to pull this out, and really quickly I'm just going to show you these 2 big pantry boxes. So we run our crab boiler, our big pot, our kettle, our what do you call that, a colander. Yep. And there's some pegs in there, and we've got all sorts of utensils, bug spray, all sorts of things in here as well. Just neatly packs in there. You don't have to think about it anymore. It's always in there. Now, this Evercool Series 2 Down Under 96 litre fridge, something that I've never done before in terms of a video. I have done this when we've been traveling before. What I love about this fridge is you can run both zones as freezers, both zones as fridges, or you can do a bit of both as a fly in my eye. But the thing I love about it is that you can switch off individual zones. Now you might be thinking, why would you want to do that? Well, purely to save some energy, because this is a big fridge and there's another fridge in there, and there's also a fridge in Barry. So we just don't need all of these fridges generally, unless we're going off grid for about a month at a time. So what I've done is I've actually switched this front zone off. Now it's really easy to do so. Maybe if you come around here, you will see, pull that out, you'll see the 1 degree mark. It doesn't show on the GoPro really well, but you'll see that this zone is off. Now, if I wanted to turn that zone back on really quickly, you're going to hold this minus button for 5 seconds, and there kicks in that particular zone. I'm going to turn it off again because I don't want to waste power. And we're sitting beautifully at 1 degree here, not needing to run about an extra 35 litres, which is going to make that compressor work, which is going to draw more amps out of our battery. So, one of the great features about this fridge. Put that away. All right, coming around here. Great fridge slides as well, by the way. I find these fridge slides are really serviceable. Even in the dusty conditions like we are, it's running perfectly. We've got pretty standard here. We've got our sink, with drawers here. We're just running our cleaning up stuff, Mavo sanitizer, because apparently you can't live life without sanitizer anymore. I don't know what we did before COVID, but anyway. And we've also got our 4-burner hob here. I haven't got the wind guard on. We've got the van set up perfectly here where the wind's blowing into the back of it. We've also just got our cutlery drawer sitting there perfectly. Fits all of our knives and forks. And it's beautiful. Now, you've seen this on other vans, but I love doing the big reveal.
Da-na-na-na.
Just a beautiful big open pantry here. Now, layout slightly different to what we had on the Commander, slightly ever so different, because you'll notice you've got a window up there, and we had the Infinity 15 last time because it had the pop top. Again, slightly different layout, a lot like the Sirocco Grande, but again a slightly different layout. We've got these 2 really handy drawers.
Love the drawers.
And the reason we love these drawers, guys, is because you can put stuff in there that's got a high propensity to roll around, particularly when you're off-grid and going over some 4-wheel driving tracks. And you know that that stuff's going to stay in here. The rest of it, and there's some beautiful big lips on these, combined with marine carpet on the bottom, that everything just fits in there really, really nicely. A little bit of stuff moves around every now and then, but as you can see, these are melamine or bamboo, so nothing's going to break. But heaps of room to keep all your pantry stuff. A really well positioned light there as well for when you're doing your cooking. So I'll close that up. Now I've also got, actually, this is a point of difference on this van. You'll notice, because of the tighter configuration here, that you've got your outdoor TV antenna outlet.
Oh, sorry, I've got stuff in the way.
Yeah. And you've also got your USB-C and USB charging ports and a 12-volt socket and a GPO here as well for your exterior. So slightly different on the other vans. They're usually actually built into here. The reason it's not built into here is you'll see it on the inside. It's got a dinette there, so there isn't the space for the cutout like you've got on other vans where that cutout moves into the seat cushion. So slightly different point of difference. This is simple, guys, but I love this innovation from the guys at Jawa. There was a bit of space here, so they've just whacked this table on. You just concertina it over as soon as you get to camp and it works perfectly. Moving right along, we've got another GPO here. Now it is 15 amp plug, but you can fit a 10 amp socket in there as well. It works perfectly. We've done it many, many times with our Starlink. You've also got another USB-C and USB charger point here. So there's absolutely heaps of space, particularly with this van where you may have a couple of kids with you as well. We've got the handle light, we've got another beautiful big black window, well-positioned light straight over the door here. And the last piece is this beautiful 4.8 metre 3-arm awning. Now you'll only see the 3-arm awnings in the Tawari, in the Commander and in the Retreat range, and it's simply because they are the solid top vans, and also because of the length, the 16-foot nature of this 18-foot of the Tawari. But check out this space. Now we also find with the triple arms, we generally don't use the anti-flap kits as well unless it's really, really windy. The reason we don't is there's extra support running to the fascia, so if the wind is blowing this direction, and we've got the van set up for the wind going the other way, but it's just a bit more security, a bit more peace of mind. We haven't even got our navigator straps or our down to the ground other straps as well. So that is the outside of this van, guys. Let's just quickly jump down near the wheel and I'll talk through a few things which are really, really important to the Jawa range as well. Now, I'm not going to pull the wheel off or the brake hub, but let's talk through what sits underneath this van, because that's the most important part to keep your family safe while they're out there and about on the road. So what the guys do at Jawa when they get these vans imported and out of the containers into their factory, first thing, they're up on the hoists, wheels off, suspension that comes from overseas out of the van, and Lovell's Australian made suspension goes in there. We'll put some footage in of that suspension working on the drive-in as I'm talking now. The other thing that the guys do other than the Lovell's suspension is inside here they're going to put high quality Japanese Koyo bearings, and they're going to pack those at the factory for you before you drive out on the road. They use off-road brake magnets. Do a little bit of research on off-road brake magnets if you've never heard of them before. They are just significantly better for off-road vans. And the other thing that the guys at Jawa do as well is that they've got the equipment both in Windsor in Sydney and up at Caloundra on the Sunshine Coast to do laser wheel alignments before they leave the factory. So in terms of towability, in terms of safety and equipment that sits in here, we've got those Japanese bearings, the laser wheel alignment that the guys do before they hand your van over. They've also got the off-road brake magnets and the level springs and suspension sitting in there. So second to none peace of mind, particularly for an imported van. All right, let's get inside the van for the old Mavi to give you a run through of the beautiful Retreat Bunk inside.
Okay, so welcome to the inside of the Bunk Retreat. Come on in. I'm going to give you a bit of a look around and then we'll talk storage. So in this Retreat you have king size bed. It is definitely a king size bed. We have a queen mattress topper on here which cuts short on the edges. It doesn't worry us or interrupt us when we're sleeping, but just so that you can see, it's definitely a king size bed. I've got king linen on here as well. So yeah, it's a great space. Massive.
Nice and airy and light, hey?
Yeah, the windows are great in this van. What I have found is that from whatever point of view you are in the van, you can actually see out everywhere. You don't have any blockage. So it's really good, great for the airflow. Two-person dinette. The table actually moves, and it actually moves down to the second rail here. And we've got another cushion. We didn't bring it with us, but there's another cushion. And I think you could actually make this as a lounge.
You could drop it onto that rail.
Yeah, for two people to be watching the telly. Or you can actually make another sleeping space for a little person.
Yeah,
so yeah, that would work really well. Kitchen, check it out. Such a nice space. I'll be honest, I was a little bit worried about the fridge here and the noise from the fridge when we're sleeping being so close, but I haven't noticed it whatsoever. So it works really well. TV, can easily see the TV from the bed or the dinette. But let's get back to the kitchen.
We've stopped 4 times too, and it's always tuned in perfectly. With all channels.
I think you just need to know how to do that.
Yeah.
So maybe we might do a video on that.
Actually, that's a great idea to do.
We could do a video on that. Anyway, here, induction cooker. This has been fantastic. And you can use it as a bench as well, so when it's not on or hot or anything like that. And the sink here.
This sink is mint.
This sink is fabulous. So, when you get your van, it'll come with one of these little buckets and this little drying rack all goes into there. When you're traveling, pop it in and it sits inside the beautiful sink, black sink, and then the lid goes down, giving you more bench space. So I absolutely love this. Jawa have done a fantastic job with this.
Set it up.
Little setup. Sure. You just pop the little drying rack up there, like that.
You forgot one more thing.
What?
Drain
Oh, the drain. Sorry, yeah, the drain. So I don't know whether you saw, was it a story I did? When you're washing up, this actually acts as the drying up section, and then the excess water that comes off your dishes rolls back into the sink.
I think the technical name is a drainer.
Okay, it's a drainer. Okay, so the drainer works fabulously. Thumbs up. And the bonus chopping board is awesome as well.
That's something I shouldn't have.
It actually packs away really neatly. Ready for travel.
Love the black tapware too.
Yeah, the black tapware is really good. So the hooks in the van that you see for any towels, I've actually popped in here. They're the Fusion hooks. I don't have any sponsor or any partnership with Fusion, but Fusion hooks are mint for caravans. Absolutely love them. Easy to take off without ruining your wall as well. And also the main thing, they're easy to put on. so fusion hooks. Let's go into the bathroom. So because this is a bunk van, you actually have a dual shower toilet combo. In the other retreat that doesn't have the bunks, you actually have a separate shower toilet. So I can't wait to try that as well. Even though I don't mind a combined shower toilet, like Ant and I've showed you, we just use a squeegee to squeegee it down, and also the microfiber mat as well to dry it up. Yeah. Now, the bunks has a great ladder, very sturdy ladder for the kids. Really long, good space in both of them. And the other thing I wanted to add too is that this van actually has 4 Ranger fans in here, so everybody gets a fan each, which is awesome.
So the bunk dimension's about 6 foot long and they're about 800 wide. So they're not the widest bunks in the world, particularly if you've looked at the Infinity 15 with the bunks in that bottom bunk is huge. It's almost like a double single, but really, really serviceable, particularly if your kids are, I would say under 10, would you say, maybe? Yeah, kids under 10 and or your grandkids, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so now that we've had a little bit of a look around at the layout on the inside of the van, let's talk storage. So I'm going to be honest here, when I checked out the Retreat, I did think, wow, look at the lack of storage. Where am I going to put things and where are we going to put our stuff? For one, yes, there's no hanging space, but 2, we fit everything in here that we need. So have a look. Down here, you've got 2 really big drawers and they're quite long.
Yeah, they're very deep, aren't
So
they?
this is our my tech drawer where I've got everything in here. Now this is a bit of an odd drawer where I've been able to, not that we need them now because it's so bloody hot, I've been able to store some winter stuff in here and our beach towels. So that's a great drawer as well. They're really long, so fabulous. And I could fit so much more in there too. Okay, so up the top here, I've got our towels and now my mocha pot so it doesn't break. So again, I can fit so much more in there. Here I've just got bits and pieces, cereal, tissues, tea bags for when I don't want to be outside. So just little knick-knacky stuff. Over here, I have put the toaster, our milk frother for our mocha up here. And again, an inside plates, bowls, mugs, and some coffee, peanut butter, etc. Under the sink, there's plenty of space under the sink. So in here, I've just popped in our laundry gear. And then toiletries are down here. Because the shower doesn't unfortunately have a little nook to store any toiletries, I've had to make do with down here, but that's okay, it works. Some toiletry goods down here as well, but see how much more space I've got in here. These containers are from Kmart, and if you haven't seen our previous videos, they also have lids, so you could actually stack 2 containers on top of each other in this cupboard. And then just our bin down here. Now, shoes I've popped down under the seat at the dinette. And then down here is Ant and Dee's clothes drawer. So that is all of my clothes. Wow. I'm talking my...
in one drawer?
Yep. I'm talking 5 pairs of swimmers. I'm talking underwear. I'm talking my pajamas, even including winter just in case. Shorts, shirts, singlets, and like dresses. I just roll them up in here. Nice linen shirt rolled up because I can't hang it, right? So rolled up, and it fits in there really nicely. Here's Ant's drawer. So that's me. And they're massive too. So Ant's pajamas, we've got socks, shorts, shirts, long pants, shorts under there. Really good space.
Yeah, we've actually got more space than we need, even though we thought we didn't need enough space, or didn't have enough space.
Have I done all of the little nooks?
I think you've done all the nooks, except for that one over there.
There is one more, the secret nook. Over here. The secret nook where I've just got jewelry. You could store lots of little goodies down there. It doesn't have access to the outside, which is even better. But yeah, store your jewelry down there, your wallets, your keys, all those types of things that you don't want anyone to get to because they can see it, I guess. So yeah, that's the wrap up of the inside of the Retreat Bunk van. I think I'm going to throw over to Ant. He wants to talk more about it and also more about the storage on the bunk that we do utilize in this van when we're traveling. So here we go.
All right, quickly, Mavo, come over here. We're going to show the 12-volt system, and then I'm going to give some final thoughts on the van. Now, 12-volt system as standard in all the 2024s, and this is the stock standard that's going to come with this particular van. Under the bed, we have 400 amp hours of Enerdrive B-Tech lithium batteries. We've also got a 3,000 watt inverter and a combi inverter with a built-in 100 amp AC charger, so when you're plugged into your mains, you're getting 100 amps in here. You've also under the bed, how's that? Under the bed, you've got a MPPT, which is capturing that 600 watts of solar coming in off the roof, and you've also got a DC-DC. The DC-DC is going to work for your car feed when you connect it up to your car driving along, charging from your alternator. And there's also a soft panel plug-in on the back of the drawbar of the van, which will run to that DC-DC as well. Now the beauty of that, if you're running off AC, that MPPT is still going to be taking the rooftop feed to fill that battery quicker. If you're off grid, you've got your soft panel plugged in, you're still going to be getting your rooftop feed. You've just got dual regulators, I guess, feeding that battery. MPPTs are designed for solar, DC-DCs are a kind of a combi type of thing, but great power system. Also really quickly, we've got our ePro shunt, which is going to tell us our battery state of charge, our deficits if you don't want to jump under the bed and have a look at the individual control units. And we've also got our inverter controls. A main control panel. Now, important in a bunk bed, up here, out of the way of little hands and little feet and those sorts of things. You've also got your internal controller for the AquaGo hot water system, and here's your eBispatcher diesel heater controls along with your water tank gauges and that sort of thing. Now, I promised you guys I was going to talk about where I think this van is perfectly positioned. There's two core markets that I think are really important. Those who have younger kids, and I'm talking kids who are kind of toddlers through till about 10, these two bunks are going to be absolutely perfect. They're not super wide, but they're very long. Where I think this van is absolutely perfect, and most of you will know that we've got our beautiful little grandson Cooper now, is for those people who want to travel some of the time as a couple, but you also may some of the time be away camping and that sort of thing, and your grandkids are going to join you. So what we've found with this van, we didn't think we were going to enjoy it that much because we don't need bunks. Well, we kind of do now with Cooper, but he's not old enough to come away traveling with us just yet. But we've been really comfortable in this van. If you were to think about it, get rid of these 2-feeder bunks, and it's almost like this perfect little 14-foot van for a couple to live in. But if you're also then having the grandkids, as I said, you've got these bunks built in. The other thing about the storage, Mavo's talked about when your first impressions and you look at this van, you don't think it's got enough storage. We've amply fit everything in. We even found a secret tunnel boot out the back that I hadn't even looked in yet. But you can also use this as storage, guys. So if you've got those sort of stackable plastic containers that you can get either from Kmart or Bunnings and those sorts of things, you can stack stuff on here when you're traveling. You've also got room behind the ensuite here. If you're worried about things moving around, you can see we've got our laundry basket. We can see Mavo's got her felt tubs up there. So again, if you've got the grandkids joining you, they're either not old enough or not game enough to be outside in a tent or a swag, you've got the inside here, but you don't have to use this for the kids when you're traveling if they're not going to be with you, and you can utilize this area as storage as well. I just think it's a beautiful van for those people who have grandkids that are going to want to join them from time to time, but also want to travel as a couple if you're retired or even just traveling for that matter. Now, the other thing I would say is if you're choosing this van for extended travel with kids that are over 10 or even teenagers, I would be looking at maybe the Infinity bunk as well, the Infinity 15 bunk. I just get a sense that, one, the bunks are a lot bigger, and two, because of the bump out bed in that, you get a bit bigger platform. So for comfortability, particularly traveling with a couple of teenagers and 2 adults, I'd probably be thinking for an extended period of time, like a lap around Australia or something like that, I'd be weighing up which one works for you the most. But this is an absolutely beautiful van. We've really enjoyed it, and I've got to say, when we get back home, we'll put some photos up of little Coopy in this van, because he's almost old enough to sit up, and he's rolling around everywhere now, so I've got to be a little bit careful. But I would love to look forward to 2 or 3 years time, where maybe we've got another grandchild as well, and the little Tacker's come along with us, because this van is perfect for it. We didn't talk about one more thing too, maybe.
What?
Dometic inside fridge.
Oh, yes.
105 litre fridge.
I just take it for granted now.
Yeah, because we're just used to it, aren't we?
I'm so spoiled. It's fantastic. Stand up fridge. Ready? Have a quick look. So good.
So guys, that's it. That's the Retreat bunk. Now, a couple of things. Number one, any questions, any things that you want information on around this particular van, please hit us up in the comments. We love getting back to our people that follow our channel and that sort of thing. Maybe will gets up me for saying followers or something like that.
Our people.
Our people. Anyway, we love you for watching us. So if you do have any questions, please shout out. Forgot about the air conditioner up here as well, although it's pretty standard. Every single van in the Jawa range comes with an air conditioner these days. Absolutely outstanding van. We are going to go next into the Retreat Escape that Mavo alluded to a little bit earlier, so we can't wait to get into that van as well. But I tell you what, a little bit of a gap filler where we weren't expecting to be in this van and we weren't expecting to enjoy it has actually turned into an absolutely awesome van, and we've had it off-road, as you will have seen on the footage a little bit earlier. So thumbs up for its off-road capability.
I'm
as well.
actually really loving this van so much.
Thumbs up to the guys at Jawa. See you in the next one. Cheers, guys.
See ya.